Well, welcome everybody. Second part of the design and what I learned. Let me get my stuff over here. Okay, while I was eating lunch, I decided, I'm going to use these cowl sides, but I have to modify them. So, which is not a big deal. It's only wood. Nothing's a big deal. So we're going to need the wax paper. I kind of got to do all these things in sequence. You can't, if you want a really nice model, you can't just willy-nilly start cutting wood and going too crazy. So that's why I've got to think things through most of the time. So we'll get to cutting this here in a second, but I want to that's the outside. I want to glue these pieces on here first. So, and I'll explain why it's this way here in a second. I took the liberty of off camera marking the needle valve location because it's such a pain in the butt to do. So we're going to modify the cowl, and we don't have to worry about this split because it's going to be fiberglass anyway. So we'll glue that extra piece on there. So it went from this shape straight to this shape, and I'll explain why that needs to be done like that. I'm going to have to order some 64th ply because I looked for it. I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it. Now we'll do that here in a minute. So we got this one on this side. So that's the outside. I want to do this one this way. Always remember to make rights and lefts, because if you just make all lefts, you end up with a problem. Okie dokie. Yow, I got hot quick. Didn't take me long to inspect that. Okay, we got the cowl sides made. Alright, now, in order to get this lump off of here. So I'm using parts for another airplane for this airplane. And we want to make sure these are exactly the same, so we're going to sand the ends of them there, because they're not exactly perfect. And I like perfect. I don't know how many of you guys know Ted Fancher, but he is the best cowl maker, and these are his layout. So I'm going to get one of those super nice cowl jobs on this thing. He spends a lot of time working on the cowl. Come on, there we are. Okay, that's good. Didn't take much. That way, if they're both exactly the same, you don't have to worry about making things different for each side. Of course. Close enough. Okay, cowl sides are made. Throw this wood out. Always try to make the cowl break on the needle valve. And how you do that is, you bolt the engine on the engine bearers, you take the needle valve out, you stick a piece of wire through the spray bar and poke it into the wood, and that's where the cowl line should be, which came out exactly right there. I poked the wire through it. So now I'm going to cut the bottom of the fuselage side. We're going to end up making the doublers and everything for this. I'm going to do this a little different because I kind of screw up every once in a while where I cut the doublers and have to reglue things back in, but I figured out a way that I can eliminate that problem. So that's the first part, and this line here might get cut up some more because this is pretty beefy back here. So we're going to cut on this side of the line, we're going to cut the line off. Okay, here's my fuselage side. And we're going to try to put this on the inside because it has all the pen lines on it from the layout. But my thinking was, the reason I changed that cowl, I need to move this up and down. The reason why I changed this, or changed the cowl, was I have to have enough area to hide this muffler. So I wanted this will all be molded from here on back, but I wanted this know what? I didn't make that quite long enough. That's alright. We'll just add a piece. Needs another piece of a 3/8 piece of wood on the back here. But as I stated, this side doesn't matter because most of this will get sanded off anyway. But the way I see this, I wish there was a way that I could show you. The way I see this is this hole here will act as a cooling hole in this mess. And then of course it'll have a third hole here. So we'll have 3 times the cooling area for this muffler. And I might I don't know, maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens. That's going to be a hard sand out. But it looks like I need 3/8 of an inch more on the back of this piece here, so we're going to have to add another piece of wood. But it's only wood, and it don't much matter, because like I say, that'll get all sanded off when it's rounded up. Okay, we got 4 watchers and 3 lights. We won't worry about that right now. We'll worry about gluing this part on. So I need to raise that up a smidge. Glue this part on. Okay. Alright, let's mix up some epoxy, glue that on, and then we'll double the fuselage and make the doublers. Lay up the carbon veil. Hopefully you guys, great Dennis, hopefully you guys are building along with me, doing something in your shop besides just watching. Yep, I am live, I suppose. You know what, I'm going to put some wax paper down because it's going to be messy. Come on. Make sure things are square, wiped off and square. There is no need to carry around extra glue. So that's square now. Alright, so we'll wait a few minutes and then I can move on to the next thing. Any questions on what I'm doing and how I've arrived at this? Let's see, do I have any hard 1/8 inch? I do have a piece of hard 1/8 inch. That's 35. We're going to run this A grain. Actually, it's C grain. Or maybe it's B grain. It's definitely not worth a crap. Let's see what we got here. I hate to use a 48-inch length no matter if it's good or bad or whatever, because it's so hard to come by now. Do I have another piece of 1/8 in this mess? Could have swore I brought some. Look over here. I have some 1/8. I know. We can box it in with that. Okay, we'll do it that way. We'll use the 3-inch. I think that's enough for the box. Oh, but knock that off. 31s. Yep. We're going to use 3-inch instead of 4-inch. For the doublers. And you wonder, why am I going to do that? Well, the way that I'm going to do it, there's going to be a shelf that slides in on top of this, and then the doubler go in. It'll all lock together like a Lincoln log. Shoot, I forgot to mark that and cut a slot. So now I'll have to do it the hard way. Won't be the first time. Okay, we're getting close to being dry. Remember, it's only wood. This whole thing here probably weighs a pound and a half. 90% of the weight of your airplane's right here in this. That and the paint. Oh man. £1 pound. I knew it was heavy. $18 ounces. 18.3. God, what a turd. Then you add this. 18.8. The spinner and the nut. Nineteen and a half ounces right there. That's so we have to build the rest of the airplane for less than, that includes finish, for less than 40 ounces. That's everything. Wheels, paint, wings, everything. Less than 40 ounces. So how hard is it to build a sub 60 ounce airplane? It's damn hard. When you start off at a 19 and let's say just say a 20, because once you put the fuel line on it, you're at 20 ounces just in the nose. God, it's almost not worth it. I wonder what it'd be with a Super Tiger. Of course, that muffler's probably the same weight, maybe only an ounce lighter. Yeah, I don't know. That's what's so discouraging about this stuff. Maybe I'll take a file to this motor and take off some weight. Let's see what. And then you add a prop. Shit, the prop's probably 2 ounces. Let's throw the prop on there too. Let's see what exactly I have to build. Here's the propeller on there. Okay, all this rigmarole here weighs 21.4 ounces. We're shooting for 58. Yeah, Jim Lynch writes, good show tonight. Motor mounts look great. Enjoy John's mill work. Have a great weekend, Jim Lynch. Thanks, Jim. On now. Okay, we got 21.4 on that. We want it to come out under 58 ounces. Or let's just say 59. 59 minus 21.4. We have to build our entire airplane, everything, for 37.6 ounces. You tell me, how hard is it to do? Yeah, we got something. Okay, he says. All right. Jim Lynch should join us here in a minute. This propeller, and this is a Casminato fuel tank. It's made of carbon fiber. It's the lightest tank you can buy. It's $105 or 28,000 yen, depending on how mood swings go that day. This tank weighs 1.4 ounces. The propeller weighs 1.55 ounces. So it's about a half ounce more for a third blade. I got a carbon 2 blade here. Got a couple carbon 2 blades. I ought to make this airplane run on this prop. This prop here, the monster prop, the 1545, weighs 1.9. This prop really pulls. This was on my Thunderbolt. Can't buy them no more. This is a prop from Australia that's not finished, but it weighs 1.2. So really, you're giving up 2/10, 14 grams difference. And 14 grams is 14 grams. Like I said, that's the lightest spinner you can buy. I gave Chris Rudd my magnesium head and backplate and drive washer for $75 because I don't think they, first off, it only takes off maybe 5 grams off the motor and they don't run as good. They don't cool as well or whatever's going on. Anyway, so leave that here. Get this out of the way. Now I have this, it's up slightly right here. I don't want that. So I'm going to block sand that flush. I need to take this motor back out of the crutch. Well, I'm glad that people like the Saturday at John's. Of course, I knew that already. Even though we didn't get much done yesterday. When his kitchen put back together, we'll go back over there and do some crazy stuff. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. We got molding to do and want to make some landing gear, and we'll video all that. So this setup here, let's see what just this setup weighs. I ought to put a Super Tiger together and see what it weighs with a muffler and everything. This business here, 15.8 ounces. A Super Tiger weighs, that's 15.8. 15.8, 12.6, so it's 3 ounces difference. Three ounces I'm giving up. 12.65, and that'll go in there. 12.65 as opposed to, oh, it's got the spinner on it. Let's take this off and make a real comparison so I can see what I'm giving up. But I got to tell you, the difference in horsepower between a 75 and a 60 is amazing. But you know, really the only time you need horsepower is if your airplane's a turd. If it's heavy, you gotta have some power. But if it's light, you don't need it. Okay. So, apples to apples. We have a Super Tiger 60 with a muffler on it. No prop extension. Let me take this nut off. Nut and washer, so we got an exact amount. What I'm giving up. That way I can kind of figure how much lighter I got to build things. Okay, Super Tiger 60 in the muffler weighs 12.45, so let's write that down. 12.45. Yeah. But there is one cool factor with the 75. Rear exhaust, nothing hanging out the side of the fuselage. ST 12.45. PA is not going to sit on there. There it is. 14.35. 14.35. So we're going to subtract the two. We got about a 2 ounce difference. $1.90, I think. Clear. 14.35 minus 12.45 equals, yep, 1.9 ounce difference. So we'll just say 2 ounce difference. So I'm at a 2 ounce disadvantage already. That's why those airplanes weigh 62 instead of 58. Because the tank's a little bigger. So what do I got to do to get 2 ounces off of it? Less paint. Monocoat. So the PA, let's weigh this crutch. We'll keep record of all this stuff that I got going here. I think this crutch is lighter than I built on the last one, so we might be gaining a little bit here. 2.4 crutch. 2.4. Spinner is apples to apples because that's what's on that. It's a Meslick spinner. Now the prop difference is a big difference because I'm using a rev-up propeller on that airplane at 58 ounces, and that prop only weighs 0.75, 3/4 of an ounce. And that there, so I'm giving up another ounce there. Oh man. Oh well. Can't win for losing. If you're going to run a PA, you're going to give up something. Okay, let's do a little recap here. I got the crutch completed. The wood has been milled. This is 1/4 inch cross grain, glued together. Light ply formers, 1/8 inch motor mounts, 3/16 balsa top. And the reason for that is when you sand over the edge here, it doesn't leave a void. So you want to make sure to run that. Yeah, it does lower the thrust line, but just adjust for it. I think I'm going to adjust for the thrust line on this anyway. I'm going to drop the thrust line down from what I have on the drawing here. Drop the wing down to get the lateral center of gravity better. That's why it was kind of important not to cut the holes in that yet. But let's do that now. Let's figure that out. Now I had figured the thrust line from the datum. And while that sounds good, and that will be where we measure it from here, we're going to actually measure down from the thrust line, then measure from the datum, if that makes any sense, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, gotta put this nut back on the motor or else I'll lose it, and then I'll be freaking out. Okay. Let's keep this paper here so I got a record of what's happening. All right, I've got my cowl brake figured out. I need to sand this a little bit here. Need to cut. Get this one right first before you start cutting the other one. Because if you don't, then you got two mistakes you got to fix. This is going to be the inside of the outboard. Okay, that's good there. All right, notice how high up in the wing, or how high up in the fuselage this is. We're going to drop this down. It's just way too high. So we're going to eyeball engineer this. We know that we're going to have probably 3/4 to an inch above the datum line. We want to center that up. The center line of the wing is going to be right here. Let's see how much that is off the datum line. That is 1 3/4 off the datum. So off the thrust line, it's plus 1/8. Make a mark here. 1.75 off the datum. Is that low enough? No. Nope, that ain't low enough, so we gotta go lower. Make it 2 inches off the datum. Is that low enough? That's too low. So we're going to go with inch and we could split it, I guess. 1.7 off the datum. 1.7. 1.7. Remember, I work on the TLAR method. That looks about right. That looked real high in the fuselage to me. So we're going to change it. And we're going to drop it down about 3/8 of an inch. Let's see how that looks. I think that's going to be much better. Take your plug that you made. Oh, we also want to set the nose moment too. The plotted nose moment, which is going to be 9.5. Actually, let's make it 10, because if it moves back, that's 9.25. See, I'm setting the engine back 3/4 of an inch. You got to figure balance here. Uh-oh, got some choppy video. So we'll make it 10 inches, which is where it was at before. I guess I'd already figured that out. 10 inches. Ten inches only. And then you say, well, how are we going to transfer that to the other side? Well, not a problem. Now all these lines will be hidden inside the fuselage, but you're going to need a alignment mark on the outside of the fuselage. This is the outboard inside. So we're going to take a T-pin here and make a stick pin hole on the center line, and a stick pin hole back here on the center line. Then flip it over. Let's make sure that's the right hole. It is. And we'll make sure this is the right hole. It is. And we'll draw the center line of the wing. Now, you want about a 1/2 inch index mark on both sides, trailing and leading edge, so that when you put it together upside down, you can take that those tools that I make, or the tool that John has for surface plate and layout, and measure up from the glass this far. That's how far, to make sure that the wing has no incidents in it. You know, that really looks high though, or low. Let's see, I can't make up my mind. It's about centered. So if I have the wing low in the fuselage, I have more line tension on the upright side. But I have all that hanging down. I think that's right. So we'll draw it. No, I don't think it's right. It doesn't look right. Gotta rethink this. It doesn't look right. The original looks right. No. Nope, we're gonna go with this. We'll go with this. I could think about this now. I hate when I second guess myself. What I ought to do is measure a set of plans. That's what we're going to do. We're going to measure a set of plans. Do I have a set with... I do. I do have a nose set here. The off the datum line is inch and 3/8. Inch and 7/8. That's a 1/4 inch drop. Inch and 3/8. That's a 1/2 inch difference. Inch and a 1/2. I can't make up my mind. You know what we're going to do? We're going to drop the wing and cut more of the fuselage off the bottom. We're going to make it 1.5 inches and cut more off the bottom. See what it is? What's getting me is how much is down here on the bottom of this. And we just don't need that much. Because you figure you're going to have another... You know, if I was running a pipe, that would be right. Nope, I'm going to cut it like I originally drew it. I must have originally drew it for some reason like this, so without thinking twice about it, I'm going to cut that off. And then I got to figure out how to raise this up. Right in the middle. Man, what a dilemma. Gotta think about this. Call me, John. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it like I originally drew it. Let's get John on the phone. Yeah, you say I need to drop it by 3/16. What are you talking about? Drop it from where?
Well, your top piece of balsa wood that's going on top of your motor mounts is thicker than normally. It's 1/8 of an inch.
No, I always run
at 16th there.
I always run 3/16.
Yeah, I know, but typically it's 1/8 inch. Okay, that's what most of the planes have on them. So you're the difference between 1/8 of an inch and the thickness of the material that you're using, 3/16 of an inch. So you got that difference.
Off the thrust line of the engine, I'm only 5/8 of an inch to the center line of the wing.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
5/8 to 3/4. Otherwise, then you're going to start. If you drop it too much, then you're going to start messing with the tail height and all that stuff. You're going to have to drop that further down in the fuselage to maintain your numbers.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm at a mental block with this thing, but I guess I am.
Yeah, and then then you've got let's see here. I lost my train of thought here. You got your 1/8 inch that you drop in your wingtip. So all that plays into the same effect. So you're just dropping it proportionally.
I'm not running a pipe, so I don't have to worry about any underslope.
You made the fuselage too deep in the bottom. And the only way to tell that is to get the motor mount on there and measure the top of the head of the motor and see where you need to put your fuselage bottom at.
You saw that I'm running the 75, right?
Well, you don't know that you'd made your mind up to run the 75 or not, but
I'm using that CAS muffler, that high dollar muffler, and it drops it down quite a bit, so it's almost to where it needs to be, where a pipe would be. So,
right.
So the nose has to be deep enough for that.
Right. You want it all concealed inside the cowling and not sticking out, or no hole cut in the cowling for the head to go out of or anything like that, right?
Correct.
So you just got to allow for that. And that's wherever your fuselage ends up at.
Yeah, the other airplanes I've been building, the head's been sticking out a little. That's why I'm screwing up.
Right. Okay. Now it also might affect where your landing gear goes a little bit too. You may have to recess your landing gear up in the fuselage a little bit, but probably not with that 75 because it's swinging a 14-inch prop.
I'm going to run wing mounted gear. I'm back and forth on that.
Okay, well then you can set them wherever. But
right.
Yeah.
Because the Continental had originally wing mounted gear.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm on cam. I got to get back to it.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, at least somebody's watching. I'm going to go ahead and set it where I originally set it. And the reason why it looked funny to me is because I've been building the, I should have just turned around and looked at my other airplane there and seen that it'll be fine. The reason why it looked funny to me is the other airplanes I've been building have been for the Super Tiger 60, and I cut a hole for the head to stick out. So we're going to put it back where it was. I just have an extra line, that's all. Okay. I'll tell you what caught my eye is when I turned it upside down and the wing was that high off the bench, because I don't ever remember them being that high off the bench. So we'll redraw this. I think I'm going to change the thickness of the stab too. I don't think I want a 3/4 inch thick stab. We're going to go with the 5/8 again. I'll just have to build around it. Have to cut that wood. All right, nice. Let's put a new blade on it. Might as well have good sharp instruments. Seven likes, 15 watchers. Like, subscribe, share, join the channel if you're not a member. Subscribe. Help me keep this going. Yeah, John says that the top on top of the crutch is always 1/8 inch. Well, I've never used 1/8 inch. I've always used 16 or 3/16. Okay. Now this is where it mounts to the fuselage. Should fit in perfect. It will take very little adjustment. I see a couple spots that are tight, but That way it's right on the center line. The wing is no incidence. You don't have to shim and all that other business. So, we have an outboard fuselage side. We need to make an inboard. What did I do with that other piece of wood? Here it is right here. Yep. So, we need to turn it over this way. Ah, broke it off. That's all right. I guess I'd take this off, number it. This is OS, and this is OS. So turn this over. I guess it'd behoove me to square this up. Well, no wonder why. It's way out of square. This is a factory cut too. Okay. I guess we need to, I'll just mark it out and cut it off. Actually, I should glue the two pieces together, lay it out. Yeah, that's how I should do it, to make sure it's perfect. We like perfect. Perfect is good. So we got this side here. We need to sand up one of these. Remember, when you're doing something like this that's long, always use the straightest grain pieces that you have, where the grain is even and straight. If the grain is running uphill on one side and downhill on the other, when you put paint on it, it's going to twist. So if you got it straight grain, you have less chance of it twisting, even though it still can twist. Dope has a way of loosening up the ligna in the wood, and the wood, being a living thing, is always trying to go back to its original position. So the grain runs in direction of the sun. So let's do that. Let's tack these together. Of course. Every time I want to glue, the bottle's clogged. Okay, tack together. We'll do a straight datum line on that. Get my yardstick. Uh-oh. Sneezing. Terrible. Must be the crud. I like how all these guys are talking about a vaccine and all that. I ain't got no stinking vaccine. You know how many flu shots I've had in my life? 0. You know how many times I've been sick with the flu? 0. At least that I can remember. Okay. Now we got that. Let's lay this out right there on the brake line. Yeah, do a left and a right, John. I know I already said it if you've been watching. Okay. Outside, inside. I have to transfer the center line over to the other side so that we have a mark to put the wing on. So I think I'll do that now before I go any farther. So I need those pins back. Actually, I need to put this back on. We'll cut the wing out from the other side, just like I did this. Now I don't have any 4-inch wide 1/8 inch. Now I can try to get away with the 3/32 as a doubler, but I really don't have any hard 3/32. But I do have some hard 3-inch 1/8 inch. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to figure out where that tray is going to go, and I'm going to set that tray in there when I lay the doublers up. So that tray will box that nose in. I think it's probably overkill, but it can't hurt. The outside. Okay. We're set. Cut it up. I guess I could save this for bulkhead material. So we got two bulkheads here, and a nice material, 3/32. I'll leave the line on, and then I'm going to glue those other ones back together, and then put all this business together and sand it up so that they're identical. Okay. This is inboard. Why does that look different? Hmm. Take a little extra time in doing this. Just got to go to the top of that. Top of that one. We're going to eyeball it once I get this drawn. We'll put the piece back on and eyeball it before I... Yeah, I just keep building planes. There's nothing for me to do here. This is my retirement. When I quit working, I'm going to sell all these things and live forever. Okay, inside of that line. That was one of those places that was a lump. Okay. That will leave the line on and sand it because it's got a lump in it. Hey, Richard. You know, if you look on the open forum, I offered a framing service. Seeing as nobody's taking me up on it, I got nothing else to do. I got to build for myself. Now this is about the only place right here I wish I could have a laser cutter to cut these for me so that it was perfect. Because now the way I'm doing it, I got to sand it to make it perfect. Not that it doesn't end up perfect, it's just be easier if I didn't have to work so hard at it. Pretty close. So this came unglued here. Let's glue this back together. Glue the other one back together, put them together and sand them. Come on. Close. Tom Rumble Sparky, I would like to request. I would like to request that you tell about how you got Rusty to host on video chats on the video on Monday evening. I asked him, and I'm asking anybody else if they want to host. You know, Charles is taking over now, but Charles is going to need help. Anybody in any country, anywhere, would like to sit in and host. When it first started, you got to understand, I'm a one-man band. I did it all. I did the forum, and I think we figured it out. Don Jenkins and I figured it out. You know, I got some 40,000 hours in it or whatever in the forum. And then I hosted the chats twice a week. So I'm watching the forum, fixing the problems, plus doing these videos here, and doing the chat. It was just way too much for me. And especially now that I'm back to work. So Rusty said he'd do it. Okie dokie, we got these glued together. Don't want to glue them together yet. If I glue them together, they'll be stuck together. Ain't gonna stay, I can tell you that right now. But, oh well. So we have inside, outside. Let's put them together like so. Make sure they're the same. Close. Not perfect. Damn. It's only wood. So what I'm doing here is I'm tacking the two together. Spot welding them together. That way we have the best chance of getting them exactly the same. Tail post first. This tail post angle could change at any time, depending on how the rudder lays in there and how I'm going to do it. Now we'll do the spinner. And then we'll do this. Let me get the clamp on that so it doesn't go anywhere. So basically what I'm doing here is making my own kit. Okie dokie. Pretty damn close. Pretty darn close. Okay, let's see if the plug fits through. A little bit up there. Okay, I need to measure off there and make sure that's correct. So that's what I suspected. I got the line on wrong. It was off quite a bit. Okay, measure these, make sure they're the same. That's good. That's good. Okay, had one line off, but we're all set up now. Yep, perfect. That's kind of an important part to get correct. Okay, we got our fuselage sides made. Let's make the doublers. And I'm gonna run some longerons in this, or stringers. I guess they're longerons. Top and bottom, so that when I do sand it together, that it doesn't go goofy. But I need to figure out what I want to do with the brake in this, because this is where the fuselage breaks to go fore and aft of the wing. Do I want to make the doubler break in a different spot at a different angle, which would be stronger, but which would also be a humongous pain in the rear. So I need to reinstall the engine, in and out, in and out, in and out. Get a measurement for that shelf. Figure the doublers out, how I want to do that. Okay. So if I have the tank in there like so, what is the measurement if I go up 3 inches? Be nice if I can go full 3 inches. And I cannot. I cannot. I can only go up 2.5. So I have to cut these 2.5 wide. I want the doubler to run the full length, but 2.5 wide. So go right to here. This is going to be the goofiest setup you ever seen. But I also last night, I probably shouldn't mention it, somebody will steal it from me. I also last night had a dream about a new truck, a revolutionary idea. I've never seen it before. And I think I'm going to draw it up, mail it to me. So I got a record that I thought of it first before I let it out of the bag. 'Cause it's cool. Okay, so what I need is 2 of these pieces, 2.5 inches wide. That's 2 1/4. Of course the square doesn't work good. That's 3. This was my great grandfather's square. Maybe I ought to do some electrolysis on this and see if I can't clean it up. 2 1/4 that way. 2.5 that way. Good. Okay. You're probably wondering what the heck am I talking about as far as this goes. 2.5. Well, I'll show you. Okay, this doubler here, which is the full length, I'll probably have to show you like this. We'll run across this way. Of course, the outside of the fuselage is here, along with the carbon. But underneath that is this piece that will be locked in by this doubler. If I'd have thought about it before I went too crazy, which I'm going to have to do it the hard way now, is I have to cut a notch in this the hard way, drill a couple of holes and file it in there. But that will lock up the entire nose section without weighing anything. Any extra, I mean, one little piece, 7 grams maybe. So let's see how that's going to work. Oh, can't throw that out. Gotta have that. Yep, 4 inches. Gonna be a trick to get it together, that's for sure. It's actually not low enough. It needs to go down another 1/8 of an inch. Oh no, wait. I guess we'll try it there. We'll cut another one. Hopefully I got another 1/8 C grain. I think I do. You guys bored to death yet? Hour and 45 minutes. We'll let it run 15 minutes more. These 2-hour shows kill me. That's good. Okay, so this basically is boxed in like so. How do I want to do that? I'm going to have to notch that. Maybe like so. We'll do it like that. Yeah, we'll do a 3-inch piece. I should have just did a, well, it doesn't matter because it's going to come up. So, let's lay out the rest of it. You know, I had dreamt up some other things on how to do stuff, and I just never got around to doing it. like my hinges. A lot of people are starting to use those for some reason. But I got to give credit where credit's due. You know, it's not exactly my idea. It only took me 20 years to grasp it. Okay. So this part here will go like this. I ought to make them doublers longer so they double that joint there. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it open anyway. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The insides of my airplanes get super filled anyway, so it don't matter. The only thing that I see here that could be a problem is painting it with Z-epoxy. I'm going to have to take my time and get down in there real good. Okay, this will better explain my idea when I cut this here and get it laid out. I've never done this on an airplane, but I just think it'd work, and it'd help. Okay. This is the first part of the doubler here. It goes on like so. Then this part here goes on like so. Let's see if I got another piece of 8. I do. Well, that's a hefty 1/8 there. Try another piece. Whoever used the saw must have fell asleep. That's better. Okay. we're just going to run it up there and trace it out. And then I'll cut out the notch. Oh, man. I know, a lot of work for nothing, probably. But it's cool. What else have I got to do? Nothing. Okay, should become clear now. Carbon, glue, carbon. This gets laminated on there like so. This goes on here like so. This gets notched out. How many of you guys as kids played with Lincoln Logs? Okay. Alright, here's the idea. That's glued on like so. This is glued on like so. A piece of this gets keyed into that, going across the fuselage to make a tank box, basically. That should work good. Yeah. Square this up. Make it the width of this. If I make it the width of this, that's not wide enough. It has to be a 1/4 inch wider than this. So that's the width it needs to be. Has to be a 1/4 inch wider. actually screwed up and made this too long because, well, maybe not. Let's see where this sets at. No, I didn't. Okay, good. So if this sits here, this will get a notch, a key that keys into this. So when you put this together, this gets glued on here or keyed in, and then this will key into this. Like I said, is this necessary? Probably not. Just something I want to do. We'll make two more pieces, and kind of diddle around with it and see if it'll go together. But it should. Any questions? 2 hours now. You guys are dropping like flies. 128 playbacks, average watch time is 11 minutes. Yeah, don't glue the doublers on the same side. That does happen. So I need two more pieces, and then I can kind of dink it up. Here, let's cut it out. Then I got to notch the firewall for the tongue. Tongue and groove. What happened to that piece? It's right here. Well, the CRS is really getting after me. I think I will probably glue the doublers on off camera, and maybe later tonight I'll come back and we'll put this together. Kind of a lot of pressure to do this stuff on worldwide TV and not make a mistake. Okay, that's that one. Now I need this piece. I'll cut it out of this. Let's do it this way. So we got a factory edge. when I put these together, I'm going to have to be very careful and use a square and make sure that these two pieces are exactly aligned, because when this key's together, there's not going to be any movement. So I'm going to have to use slow set epoxy on that, because I got to make sure that it's exactly correct before, and weighted before I let it stand, because if it's wrong, the fuselage will be a banana. And I want a banana. So, let's see what we got here. This one here goes with this one. Take this back out of there. Well, that ain't right. What's going on here? This one here goes with this one. Glue it together. Okay guys, what I've done here with this particular doubler is not necessary. You don't have to do it. I just did it to see if I could do it. It's out of the norm. It's not what a normal stunt plane, how it's put together. It's normally just a straightforward doubler, and that's it. So you can try to copy this setup, and if you want, but it's not necessary. You probably wondered, why did I put an X on that? Because that's where the glue goes. It's a whole lot easier to do it that way than get to building and go, oh shit, I put it on the wrong side. So now I'm evening these things up to make them perfect. I know, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting off a piece of wood. Making sure that they match. When you're doing this kind of stuff too, I'm going to show you something else. When you're building kits, it doesn't much matter, but this, I'm not only the builder, I'm the kit designer, so there are no numbers and things. Just go ahead and number this stuff. It's real simple. Just go 1, 1. Oop. That way you know that these two go together. I put the glue mark on the other side. So this is my piece that goes across here. Now we have to set up the other side. And I've already marked this one inside, so we know that's where the glue goes. And double check, and then set this one up. I don't know my pen. There it is. So we know the glue goes here, and is that right? And the glue goes here. IS. So those two go together. Pretty simple. And this one here gets glued on like so. God, I can't hold on to nothing. This one here is going to take a little trimming, I see. Well, that's okay. Get the glue off of it. Where's my piece? There's my piece that goes there. Need to trim it a little bigger. I don't know whether you remember me telling you, instead of more lumber, use engineering for strength. And that's what this is. Not that I'm an engineer, I'm just a backyard engineer. So let's see how this fits now. IS on the datum line. Need a couple clamps. That's the only thing I engineered that ever went into production. And I didn't engineer it, I just modified it. Harley-Davidson twin cam. We were putting in, I was doing, well, one winter I did 56 engines. And on those motors, the back cam was always in ball bearings, and they were having a problem, a recall, that we'd have to put new cam bearings in the thing. Well, the drive bearings were 1/4-inch rollers. And they were the same size, same width, same diameter, same cam dimension. You know, the cam was the same dimension, intake and exhaust. I said, hey, why can't I take those 1/4-inch roller bearings and put them in the back bearings? So I called Harley-Davidson and I asked Tech, I said, hey, you know, can I do that? He said, nobody's ever done it before. I said, well, I did it on my bike. He said, does it work? I said, yep. So, and I didn't get any money out of the deal. A couple of, a season later, they came back with roller bearings in them instead of ball bearings. But it took 2 bearings to make 1. That was in 2000 when I did that. Just because them guys are engineers, they ain't the brightest bulb in the pack. Just wait till you see this truck design I got in my head. I got it while I was sleeping. Man, it's cool. It's a feature that allows the truck to do some pretty amazing things. And I know it'll work. It's not a pipe dream, and I've never seen it before. Yeah, maybe it is a pipe dream because I dreamt it up. So maybe that's how I get rich, is this stupid idea I got. But I kind of got to protect it, because I don't want to get hosed like I did with the bearings. Okay, so now this goes together. Yeah, this will be all right. This goes like so. I don't need the fuselage, I just need the doublers. This goes like so. And this goes like so. And then this slides across. When I get this notch cut in it, in the F2, it'll be a lot easier to put together because this will already be on the airplane. Be on the clutch. Looks like I need to make it a little wider. I do. Need to make it a lot wider. How did I get 2.5? It's 2 1/4 and it's not wide enough. It's wide enough there, but not there. Why? What am I not seeing here? This is not right. It's not straight. Well, it is straight. Oh well, we got another piece here. I'll just put it together and mark it off and hack a new one off. Why is that crooked? Did something wrong here. This one is correct. Oh, wait a minute. Three-quarters, so that one's correct. And that one's short. Why? Yep, that's the problem. Did something wrong here. Somehow these got different. See, I did the outside first, and I know that one's right. This one is correct. Why isn't this one not correct? What's different about it? Huh. I have to make a new bottom piece. It's not right. This one is not correct. Not a big deal. Put me back a couple of minutes. I wanted to test it out. Getting too excited, I guess. Must be getting tired. Okay. That piece goes right to there. And right to there. So I need to cut out a piece. I remember what happened when I turned it over. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Okay, that's better. You guys laughing at me now? Making mistakes on worldwide TV. North Korea, they're probably going, look all y'all, it's all y'all, look at that guy. Come on, me that too. Okay. From what John Paris tells me, I'm a big hit in Korea. There was a guy on that wrote in squiggly lines a couple times, but heck, I didn't understand it. We got some Argentinians and some Brazilians. I have to use Google Translator sometimes. Okay, this should be better. It was goofy the last time. Okay, let's try it again. If not, I'll take a break. You know, I work harder at this than I do at work. For no money. Okay, try again. Okay. Okay, it's the inside, that's this one. Goes here. Yep, and this one goes here. That's better. This piece goes here. God damn. This may not be wide enough. Yeah, it's not. So we won't even mess with this piece. We'll just pull it out and cut a new piece. I cut it 2 1/4. Okay. Try again. You guys get the idea what I'm doing here, right? Damn! I screwed up. I gotta make 2 more sides. I forgot this is sunk into the wing. I gotta take that wing thing out of there. Shit. Oh man. So we gotta do it again. But this is a valid idea. This is a valid idea. So we're gonna do this again. because I'm recessing the tank box into the wing, this doubler should have come down here, and this hole shouldn't be here. This hole here should not be here. So I have to remake the damn things. Not a problem. Oh well, I'm just getting tired. Appreciate you guys watching. We might come back on later after I get it all straightened out and I'm not frustrated. Okay guys, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.